Also joining us, I think, in the room. I think also in the room today is Commissioner Ritter, and is Commissioner Rhodes and Commissioner Schramm.
Uh, Dan,
With
actually,
that, go ahead,
this
Nicole.
is Mary Ritter, and I'm actually remote also.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, I knew that too. Okay, anything else procedurally, Nicole?
I don't believe so, Commissioner Watermeyer.
Okay, we'll turn it over to Black Hills then. You may proceed.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just a quick audio check. Nicole, are we okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear us?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Bob Amdor, and I'm the Director of Regulatory Affairs and Financial Management for Black Hills Energy for the states of Nebraska and Iowa. We appreciate this opportunity to share our story with you today, and we appreciate the time you're taking today to listen and share the details of our proposed rate review. Next slide, please. Oops, bear with me. Black Hills Energy is a critical part of our customers' lives. We're ready to ensure that the communities in which we provide natural gas services are environmentally friendly, energy efficient, and economically successful. Black Hills Energy is more than an energy provider. We're also a community partner. Our 290,000 utility customers live in 319 communities throughout Nebraska. Black Hills Corporation operates in 8 states with the Black Hills Energy Corporate Service Center in Lincoln. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. There we go. You deserve safe and reliable service, and to ensure this, oops, can you back up one? There we go. You deserve safe and reliable service, and to ensure this, we have focused on making investments with the dependability of a modern natural gas system. This includes investing approximately $450 million since our last rate review in 2009 to continue providing customers safe, efficient, and reliable energy for decades to come. We increased reliability and capacity to Lincoln customers by completing a multi-year looping project to deliver additional natural gas to customers in the northwest portion of the city and to provide increased reliability. Roughly half of that investment, or $225 million, has been spent to replace high-risk facilities like top-of-ground natural gas lines, which is shown on the bottom right in this graphic, to relocate at-risk meters, and to provide an additional feed into 2 communities to ensure uninterrupted service. Next slide. Black Hills, Nebraska partners with the communities we serve and, as shown above, makes substantial contributions of employee time in the form of chamber and development memberships, donations to community projects, and sponsorships to local events. This year, we have donated an additional $53,000 to the Salvation Army to create a flex fund within the Heat Share program. This is the program funded by Black Hills Cares, so that even if the county doesn't have the local dollars available, customers can still receive relief. Year to date, we have sent approximately $116,000 to the Salvation Army. We also lifted the income qualifications from the program to make the funds more accessible to any customer that can prove COVID-19 hardship. At our request, the Salvation Army has created a website with local office contact information for the Heat Share program. They also sent a press release statewide reminding customers of the assistance program and have sent how-to information to their staff and volunteers across the state. In addition, we also reached out to the United Way to ensure they were aware of the changes to the program to best make a referral, and asked that the information be shared with all local United Way directors across the state. Next slide, please. We have a focus on customer service. Black Hills has taken numerous steps to focus on the customer experience. For example, recently we partnered with Medallia, a customer experience management company, to begin surveying our customers on their experiences with our customer service associates and field technicians. Our Net Promoter Scores have increased to above industry standards since this program was initiated. In this docket, Black Hills Energy proposed to offer heat incentives across the state. This incentive helps us to level the playing field with other energy sources, allowing us to provide customers a hand up in heating system installations and upgrades. Black Hills Energy also redesigned our website to be more customer friendly based off feedback from a number of customers that participated in this survey to understand what our customers need and want. As a result of our focus on safety and putting our customers first, in 2019 and 20, named as one of the easiest utilities to do business with. This by the Cogent Syndicated Utility Trusted Brand and Customer Engagement Study. Black Hills Energy was also recognized by the Better Business Bureau as a Ruby member for 70 years of membership. Next slide. As I mentioned before, Black Hills Energy is committed to investing in critical infrastructure required to meet system growth needs and to ensure the safe and reliable delivery of natural gas to customers' homes and businesses year-round. In this application, Black Hills Energy is asking to recover for significant investment, increased operational and including the replacement, upgrade, and maintenance of more than 500 miles of natural gas transmission and distribution pipelines. The estimated increase for the typical Black Hills Energy residential customer who uses 58 therms of natural gas per month would be $4.46. Under the proposed rates, the change in average bills for commercial and industrial customers will vary based on their rate class, load factors, and total usage. Natural gas usage, which makes up the largest portion of a customer's bill, is a pass-through cost and will not be affected by the rate increase. In fact, natural gas remains a great economic choice at around $1.86 per day. Next slide, please. This map shows the areas we serve in Nebraska. Rate Area 1 is the group of communities adjacent to Omaha, shown in green. Rate Area 2 is Lincoln, shown in red. Rate Area 3 is the remaining communities in eastern Nebraska formerly served by Aquila, shown in gold. And Rate Area 5 is all the communities formerly served by Source Gas in the western two-thirds of the state. Source Gas was acquired by Black Hills in 2016, and those communities are shaded in blue. These rate areas were established decades ago to reflect the different pipelines and gas costs throughout Nebraska. In this application, Black Hills is proposing to establish one set of statewide rates. Next slide, please. This slide shows the average residential bill under current and proposed rates. Several points are worth noting here. First, Black Hills is proposing lower rates in winter to offset competition from electric providers that significantly discount their rates to capture winter heating load. This proposal will help Black Hills add customers and offset future rate increases. Second, Black Hills is proposing one set of statewide rates, as I noted on the previous slide. And third, Black Hills is proposing to extend the existing SSIR, or System Improvement Program, to the entire state. The SSIR mechanism helps to pay for system upgrades on more of a real-time basis, extends the time between rate reviews, and provides project information to our regulators. Next slide, please. This slide shows the change in average residential bills. As you can see, the western part of the state, Rate Area 5 on the right, will see little change in bills because they have been paying for system replacements in a more real-time manner over the years through that SSIR mechanism I mentioned. 1, 2, and 3, which have not had an SSIR, an average residential customer will experience a $6 to $7 per month average increase in their bill. These increases are less than the rate of inflation since our last rate review in 2010 for rate areas 1, 2, and 3, and 2012 for rate area 5. Last slide, please. The rate review process takes several years to plan, file, explain, and obtain a decision from the Public Service Commission, and shows the next steps. The Public Advocate has spent the summer learning about Black Hills proposals and filed his response on September 14th. Black Hills will respond in mid-October, and the PSC will conduct a hearing the last week of October. It is possible for the parties to negotiate on some or all of the issues prior to a final commission decision in late January. Final rates will be implemented around March 1st. Finally, I'd like to close with a few personal thoughts. I've worked for Black Hills and its predecessors since 1995 and have managed or directed our Iowa regulatory issues since 2010. In my experience, most of the customers I've interacted with have positive things to say about our people and the safe, reliable service they provide to you. From an employee perspective, Black Hills has a great culture, and we're proud to do the right things for our customers. It has been 10 years since our last rate review in Nebraska, even though we have almost doubled our investment in the state. That's important for you to know because it shows we have efficiently controlled costs, some safety, and customer service metrics. Thank you for the opportunity to share this explanation today. Now we are happy to respond to your questions or any questions you might have. Kevin Jaros, our Vice President of Nebraska Operations, be in responding to your questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Amdor. Are there questions from the commissioners? All right, seeing none. Mr. Austin, are you ready? Nicole, can you hear me okay?
Now,
Yep.
sorry.
He was muted. He's up. He's on now.
Yep.
I thought,
All right.
I thought maybe that was intentional. I didn't know. Good afternoon, commissioners and town hall participants. My name is Bill Austin. I'm an attorney with the Blake Austin Law Firm here in Lincoln, and I serve as the public advocate for natural gas matters in the state of Nebraska. The position of public advocate was created through the adoption of the State Natural Gas Regulation Act in 2003. At that time, it was decided that there should be an independent agency that was representing the interests of Nebraska citizens in matters involving jurisdictional utilities. The Office of Public Advocate is that agency. Pursuant to the State Natural Gas Regulation Act, the public advocate has the authority and the duty to investigate the legality and reasonableness of rates, charges, and companies serving residential, commercial, and industrial ratepayers in Nebraska. It is my function in life to represent and appear for ratepayers in proceedings before the Public Service Commission, to negotiate jurisdictional natural gas companies in the course of rate cases, and to act as trial state on behalf of the Commission. When a general rate case, such as the one that is the subject of this town hall meeting today, has been filed, my function is to thoroughly review the application and to make a determination and recommendation to the Commission as to what should properly be included in the rate base on which your rates are predicated, what should be the proper rate of return to the company on that rate base, and also what expenses are being incurred by the company and which are properly charged to ratepayers and which should instead be borne by the shareholders of the company. Now, in this particular proceeding was filed on June 1st of this year. For the past 4 months, I and the consultants, specialists in their fields that I have retained have looked at the application that was filed by Black Hills. We've reviewed such things as the rate of return, what has been included in rate base, whether new plant constructed or being constructed by the company should be considered a prudent investment, and whether it is used and useful in providing you service. We also review a class cost of service study as submitted by the company. The purpose of this cost of service study is to show whether the rates not only provide the company with the appropriate level of revenue, but whether those rates fairly allocate among the various customer classes the cost of the company. It ensures that the rates are non-discriminatory and that one class of customer is not being subsidized by another class. Now, in this proceeding, by statute, the Public Service Commission has only 240 days in which to review the application and to enter a final order and make a determination as to what rates should be charged to you based upon their application. Pursuant to the procedural schedule that was filed by the Commission in this proceeding earlier, I have submitted testimony from my consultants regarding what we believe to be appropriate and what is inappropriate in terms of the application filed by the Commission, by the applicant. Suffice it to say that at this point, we have much to discuss with the company. We're now awaiting the company's rebuttal testimony before finalizing our positions. We frankly anticipate a significant amount of give and take will occur in negotiations with the company before the time for the hearing on October 26th. Now, at this point, I don't intend to discuss in depth the positions that we have taken in this proceeding. This is an ongoing civil matter that should not be tried outside of the appropriate forum, which is the Public Service Commission. So I conclude by saying that if you have any questions regarding the structure of the Office Public Advocate, my role in this proceeding, or similar inquiries, I'll be happy to try to answer them. As regards particulars of the rate case, I will be addressing those to the Commission at the appropriate time. And I thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Austin. Any questions from the commissioners? I'm sorry. Did I cut him off? I'm sorry.
No, is there someone that would like to ask a question that's on the Zoom call with us this afternoon? If everyone would please mute your microphones if you're not planning to speak, just so we don't get any miscellaneous background noise. It makes it difficult to hear. So if you wouldn't mind, please mute your microphones if you do not plan to speak. If you would like to ask a question or comment, please either type in the chat box or just unmute yourself and identify yourself and let us know that. We'd be happy to let you ask a question or make a comment.
All right. Is there any questions from the commissioners for Mr. Austin? All right. Seeing none. I think, Nicole, did you say you had 2 new questions plus the one from yesterday?
Yes, I have 3 questions that came in on the website to the commission, and I'll go ahead and ask those. I believe, Bob, you and Kevin are going to field those for us.
That's correct.
So, okay, the first question is from Mr. Kevin Mill, and he asked about if he's already applied for a budget billing or consistent rate plan. Will the rate increases that you guys put in place on September 1st apply to his bill?
And the answer is yes, they do. All customers, including those on budget billing, saw an increase when the new rates went into effect on September 1st. I should point out that the budget billing program for Black Hills in Nebraska is a little different than other utilities across the Midwest. Ours is a rolling average, so the amount changes each month based on the previous 12 months of bills. So basically take the previous 12 months and divide by 12, and that's the amount of the new bill. But it only increases if the increase is 10% or greater. So accumulate a bit of in other words, it might not change immediately in that month, but as we go into the winter months, it will have an adjustment to the budget billing amount. The important point here, though, is that at the end of this case, we will, if the total amount of the increase in revenue approved by the Commission is less than what was implemented in interim rates, every customer will receive a refund. So I think that's the response to the question. Go ahead.
Okay. And then we had another question, which I believe might be similar, but I'm going to pose it to you anyway, from a customer in Randolph, Nebraska. And they asked, I thought the sign up in the spring prevented us from being affected by any rate increases, as making a selection at that time we were supposed to be protected from rate increases. What happened to that?
I believe that when they talk about a making a selection. That implies that they are part of the choice gas program. And so the question really is being posed to the marketer that sells them the natural gas. In the western 2/3 of the state for Black Hills, those customers are participants in our choice gas program, which allows them to choose energy marketer to supply their natural gas. In the eastern third of the state, there we have a gas supply department that purchases just the planning and then purchases all the natural gas, which is then billed through to the customers. I think what he's implying is that he has selected a marketer that has a fixed bill option, so he was trying to lock in a fixed bill amount. This increase will have a small impact on those customers, but the question really needs to go to the marketer that serves that customer to understand the amount of the change and when it will be applied.
Okay. And final question we received is from Deb Johnson, and she said she just received her September billing for Black Hills Energy. She's on a fixed income / retired. The increase in the customer service charge and the new addition of a distribution charge on every therm seems pretty steep, especially when the therm usage is going to increase with winter approaching. This resulted in a 46% increase over last month's bill. Why so high?
To answer this question, it would be good if you could bring up my presentation again and go to slide 9.
Enrollment, please.
There we go. Thank you. The question gives us a good opportunity to explain the change that we have recommended in our rate structure as part of this proposal is to increase summer rates a little bit more and to raise winter rates less so that it levelizes the bill throughout the year. Now, I'm unsure whether this customer lives in the western portion of the state and would be in rate area 5, which is on the right-hand side, or whether they would be in the east. If they live in the west, they would see very little increase. In fact, they would probably see a decrease in the summer and a very small increase during the winter. I'm going to assume, based on her note and the percentages that she's sharing, that she would be in the in rate areas 1, 2, or 3, which shows an average change for a residential customer of $6 to $7 per month. I think what is being implied here in the question is that there was an increase, which implies that in the lowest usage months of the year, under the old rate design, they would have had a very low bill, very small bill. Under the proposal, the summer bills would be slightly higher, so that the effect is in the winter, customers will not see that significant increase that we might have seen in the past. So I guess the short answer to the question is, summer bills under this proposal will be slightly higher in rate areas 1, 2, and 3, with the intent of trying to minimize rate shock or substantial costs or substantially higher winter bills.
Okay, and that is all the questions that were submitted to us via our email. Thank you.
Okay, are there any further questions from the public that may have joined us or anybody in the chat?
We do not have anybody in the chat, Commissioner Watermeyer.
Okay. Any final thoughts from the commissioners or questions? All right. I'd like to publicly thank our staff, and Nicole, Sally, and John. Thank you so much for doing these town halls and getting everything ready. You've put a lot of work into this. Well, with that, we will consider this town hall adjourned. I hear lots of beeping.
I think that's people
All right.
leaving us. So thank you, Commissioner.
All right. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Sally. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.